from RUMPraves. This is going to be a collaboration video with Tara from Period Attire. So we're going to be explaining periods to younger teens, either someone who has not gotten their period yet and is needing the talk from their parents, or is just curious, or someone who has just gotten their period and needs more information, who's curious. So our first topic is going to be just what is a period. So a period is basically your body preparing yourself to have a baby. So your ovary releases an egg and it goes through the fallopian tubes down your uterus, and when your body realizes that you are not going to have a baby, your period is your body just flushing out what it has prepared to have that baby. So that's what it is. It's not gross. It's completely natural. It's just blood. It's the same thing if you cut your hand and you have a cut on your hand and there's blood. It's the same thing as that. There's no difference. It's not gross. It's blood. So that's that. It's completely natural. So you should get your period around the ages of 12 to 14, but you can get it as young as 8 years old up to 16 years old. So it just depends on your body, your genes. Some people bloom late, some people bloom early. Just depends. I got my period when I was 9 or 10. I just remember it was 3rd grade. So I'm not sure exactly how old I was, but I got it early. So that's the first topic.
So first I'm going to talk about light and heavy periods. Some people have light periods, some people have heavy periods. I have a light period, more like average, and one of my friends has a heavy period, another one of my friends has a really light period. It has nothing to do with your age or your body, it's just you. You could be a really big person and have a super light period. You could be the smallest person in the world and have a really heavy period. My friend who is smaller than me, she's really short and she's really petite, she has a mega heavy flow. I am kind of in the middle, and I'm in the middle for my period. And then my friend Bren, she has a really light period. So there's no real way to know how your period is going to be. My mom had a really heavy period, and I think because her skin is very sensitive, I believe that she was really sensitive to disposables. And I think that's what made her period heavy, because I used to have a really heavy period until I switched to reusables, and now it's not heavy. So that's what I think, but you know, it all depends on you. So there's no way to really know. It can vary within length and such. You can have up to like a 10-day period at the very highest or so, and up to like maybe a 3 or 2-day period. My periods used to be like 8 days long, or 7 to 8 days long, and it was really boring and really long when I was using disposables. Now they're about 3 to 4 days long, and I just think that's great. Now if your periods are like up to 1 to 2 days long, and it's really, really light, you may be like, yeah, this is awesome, but you might want to go check that out with a doctor, because if you have a really, really light period for a really short amount of time, you might want to just check that out. That might not be great. Now if you have a really, really heavy period, you need to talk to a doctor about that. Now if your period is like heavy, lasts for 8 days, 7-8 days, that's considered really heavy, but as long as it's not going above 10 or so, then you're fine. But if it's going above 10 and it's always constantly heavy, then you need to talk to a doctor. But if it's just heavy and it kind of drifts off to the last 2 days, that's okay. But just whatever you feel comfortable with. If you feel you need to talk to a doctor about your period, go for it. It really depends on you. So that is how to know how your period should act. Periods can be unpredictable. I've had really light periods and really heavy periods. You know, don't be alarmed. If it continues, go to a doctor. But if it's just really light, I had a period a few periods ago, and it was only 3 days long, and I had like only 1 day of real bleeding. And I was like, ugh. But you know, I'm not going to talk to a doctor unless this keeps continuing on, and I don't really feel that's necessary. You can go on natural herbs, you can go on hormonal medication. I don't feel comfortable going on hormonal medication, but if worst came to worst, I would go on some natural herb. But that's just me. So that is how to know what length and what heaviness your period should be.
Okay, so the next topic I'm going to be talking to you about is reusables versus disposables. So you need to make a choice. Of course, you could use both if you wanted to, but I think it's more important to know that you have a choice. You can choose disposables, what most everyone in the world uses or has to use because they don't even know about reusables, or you could choose reusables, the less common, more interesting, safer choice. Okay, I'm obviously biased towards reusables because I think they're safer and healthier, but you still have a choice. So first I'm going to bring up disposables. I have 3 products here. I have just a regular Tampax, actually it's Playtex tampon. I have an Equa something liner, and a Kotex, just a regular pad. So I'm going to get these 3 products out, and while I'm doing that, I'm going to talk about dioxin. This is the worst thing about disposables. There's a chemical called dioxin in disposables that is the most toxic of all cancer-causing chemicals that we know about. So it's a horrible, terrible chemical, and it is a byproduct of the bleaching process to make these look clean. And keep in mind, they are not clean. They are covered in bacteria so much so that some countries have banned them from their country, including like Japan, for instance. Japan is a very clean-based country. There have actually been cases of Kotex tampons that I've heard about that have come out of the package moldy. Imagine that. You don't look at a tampon before you put it in. You just put it in and push it out while it's in your body. You wouldn't know that you're putting mold into your body. That is horrible. And on top of all that, disposables are considered medical devices, so they do not have to disclose what is in their products. They could just say it's paper pulp, and that's pretty much all we know. We do not know what is in this. We just know that it's smashed up paper, and it has a gel in it, and it has some sort of foam that's on top, and then it's bleached, and the byproduct of the bleaching is the dioxin. So disposables are just a mess. So that's pretty much all I have to say about those. I guess that was all negative. I can talk about a little bit of the positives of disposables. So I guess really the only positive that I can think of is that you can just throw them away and you don't have to worry about cleaning them. But along with the positive of that, there's a negative, which it goes into the landfill. So you have to deal with that later on. Imagine your children's children having a world full of dirty period products. That is disgusting. I mean, it goes into a landfill, and all this plastic on the back, takes way too long to decompose. It will not decompose. So that's just it. And they're crinkly. People know exactly what they are in the bathroom. So yeah. Okay, so now on to reusables. So there's so many options of reusables. You can come up with anything you could think of. So if you're talking about pads, you can make your own pads. You can make exactly what you want. Whereas with disposables, you're stuck with what you see on the shelves. You have to buy them to be able to see what they are. With reusables, you can check out all the different sites, all the different ladies that make these. You can get custom orders. You can make them exactly as long as you want, as wide as you want. You can get extra snaps. You can get different backing. You can get different what's inside the soaker layer. You can get different top fabrics. You can completely customize exactly what you want. So that is definitely a really big plus for me because I could never find a pad that worked for me. This is the exact pad that I always used. It's thick, it's bulky, it's scratchy, the adhesive isn't very sticky, so if it comes off from sticking to your underwear, it will stick to the side of your leg and give you like a burn almost. It's too wide, it bulks up, and then it doesn't absorb very fast, so the blood just runs off, it gets on the side of your pants. So the next product I have to talk about is a soft cup. I have the packaging right here, there's instructions, so that's it. You can see there's a hand there holding it. It has a chart on the back. You can just pause the video to read that if you want to. It has short instructions here with diagrams. Sorry, it's kind of glary, it's shiny. So that's that. I'll get out the instructions. It's kind of a big pamphlet. Oh, actually it's not that big, it's just thick paper. So it just shows step-by-step instructions. Here's the actual soft cup. To be honest, I haven't even tried this, but I've heard great things about it. I'm just saving it for sometime when I'm wanting a more not as expensive product if I don't want to take the chance of anything happening to a menstrual cup. Like an actual menstrual cup that's more expensive, yeah. So you insert it like that, see? Pinch it down, and then if this is your vagina, it goes in like that, and then pops open like that. So that's how that works. I have a separate video on accessories and cups, so if you're interested, go and look at that, and I explain it in more detail. So this is the soft cup. It's convenient because you can use it and throw it away if you want to, or you could wash it out and reuse it. So, yeah. Here is the other kind of menstrual cup that I was talking about. They all come in these little pouches. So this is a Maluna cup. I thought a colored cup would be easy to see. So here it is. It has the ball stem. It's a soft cup. I wouldn't suggest getting a soft cup on your first time, unless it's a Yuki, because Yukis are very, very firm. So I would recommend a soft Yuki cup if you're looking at that for a cup. But Maluna, definitely get the classic, because the soft cup is just, it just takes more practice. So classic cup would work easier. So this kind of cup is different than the soft cup, the brand soft cup, this, because see, it's a very different size because it goes in differently. Because if you compared the way it goes in, it's about the same size. So you can fold it like this, fold it in half, and fold it in half again. And that's one kind of fold. I'm going to be doing a separate video on types of folds. So look for that in the near future, and I'll have it up sometime. It has a rim that looks pretty big compared to a tampon, but if I fold it up, I'm going to do the punch down fold. So if I fold it up so that it's really small, it's actually smaller than a tampon. So a lot of people don't believe that a menstrual cup can actually get smaller than a tampon, but it can. You can see right here. And if you're worried about the end of it being too big, just fold it over. You can maneuver it into whatever shape you want. It's flexible silicone, so like that. The origami fold is also a smaller fold. You just punch it in like you're doing the punch down fold, but you fold it over. So you punch it down like that, and then just fold over one side. So then it's like that. That makes the whole cup pretty small. And that's compared to a tampon. So, and keep in mind that it's not a one shape like a tampon. If you're putting it in and it's a little bit too big in one spot, it'll just squish. It's very pliable, soft. Even a classic cup would be like that. So that's the basics of a menstrual cup. I have a menstrual cup insertion and removal video. Just go check that out. It'll explain it more in depth how to actually use a menstrual cup.